If you click this video expecting professional plays, you're going to be waiting a while. Professional plays on the other hand, you're in the right place. Unova is said to be among one of the more difficult regions to Nuzlocke. Well, according to a video from PChal, in 2020 that is. Add that, and the fact I've never completed a Nuzlocke in my entire life, and you're left with an interesting concept. Can a Nuzlocke noob conquer one of the franchise's more difficult games on his first attempt? My name is Fane RPG. If you like the video, please hit subscribe. This is a Pokemon Black Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge. Now we all know that starter selection is the most important choice in any playthrough, let alone a Nuzlocke. Usually, grass type starters equate to a more difficult time, and I needed all the help that I could get. So I used my 2 brain cells to choose who I thought was the best pick. We'll go for you. Tepig, it is. As much as it's like one of the first games I started playing, I've actually got... Yeah, quit your yapping mate, no one cares. Bacon begins his butchering by burning Bianca's branches, and then Sharon decides he wants some smoke. Luckily, Bacon's got some left in the pan, so after a crit, it's more or less all she wrote. Still unable to shake off the 2 twerps, we head to Route 1 for our first encounter. There isn't much of a choice as it is, but we end up getting the guy we were after. Now, at this point I weren't aware of Ordino's game.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
So, I take the forced 50-50 between the rat and the dog. We then travel north past Route 1 and up to Accumula Town where we encounter N. Let's hope that his cat has 9 lives. Following that, we pick up our next encounter on Route 2, which happens to be Lillipup, also known as Doug the Pug. Next we head north some more and almost lose Bacon to a much uglier dog than the one we just caught. He melts a Snivy once more and sends him straight back to the Pokemon Center. Four Eyes decides to lose again as we enter Striaton City, almost ready to take on the first gym. I made my way up to the Dream Yard to collect my Pansage, and the worst thing that could happen ended up happening. Oh my god, I could cry. I've just that whole gym battle. And it's been frozen, and it's frozen again. Come on. Yeah, so I had a few moments of the game freezing in the VOD, and unfortunately the first gym fight was one of those moments. From here onwards, I managed to fix this issue happening again, but it's still a huge shame. I am very sorry, and I will make up for it with the editing on the second gym. Nevertheless, we claim our first badge inside the Unova region. Right, now that's out of the way, we have a few things to do, including some vital encounters to the success of this run. We start by revisiting the Dream Yard to get our hands on a future Musharna. The odds for a Purloin were actually double here, so luck might just be on our side. Cherin decides to catch me off guard, but after a glance at his team, I can see that he's still not a threat. Bruce uses Leah twice and switches out to guarantee a kill with a Vine Whip from Winton, which somehow doesn't kill. After Oshawott goes down, we switch into Bacon to end the battle. I head on over to the west and make my way into the cave for my next encounter. Through normal strolling, I can get a Roggenrola or a Woobat. Now, I wouldn't mind a Roggenrola, but I'm not sure where the woo in Woobat comes from, as it's nothing to celebrate. We want the third option, Drillbur. It walls the 4th gym and after evolving gains the steel typing. Not to mention it has 135 base attack. So all that I have to do is keep applying repels until a dust cloud forms and it's mine. It would take a certain level of low IQ, low of the low brain-powered stupidity to get this wrong. Wait, that's me. Both. the grown man that's crying in the bottom corner of the screen right now, and the idiot we were just talking about. Yeah, so Drillber's gone, but it's alright. I didn't really want him anyway. It's not like I wanted this challenge to be too easy. Right, get me back to Route 3 and give me my Blitzel. Okay, we can pretend that that never happened. Let's just get to the next gym. After a quick change of clothes for both me and Bacon, who learns arm thrust just in time for the normal type gym, we get a new encounter in Timpole and head to the museum for the gym fight, and then get surprised by N. Unfortunately for him, his music had already started playing before he turned up, so this battle was only going to go one way. We started out the battle with Doug, who crushes the pigeon with a takedown. He sends Timber out in his place, so Andy makes his debut to eat a fighting type move, but N throws anyway, so we insta-kill with a confusion and then bring Winton out to take care of the Timpole. We get quite unlucky here, but at the same time I play it dangerous when I really should have just switched out earlier. Confusion ends up hitting us 3 times, and then a crit almost cleans us up. Now, I'm pretty sure that a cut would have killed from this range, but I play it safe and I pivot back to Doug to wrap things up safely. Doug then cleans up the fight and we head on into the gym ready to challenge Lenora.
No! Oh, thrown. I don't know how I do it. Do you reckon it's worth reloading my... I can't reload my save, can I? That's cheating. Yeah.
Yeah, so there goes my super effective Pokemon for this gym. I just like to make things more difficult, don't I? But it's time to put that behind us and lock in, because as I collect my fresh water and descend down the stairs, it was time to collect our second gym badge. One in particular normal type gym leader has taught me not to underestimate them. And although you might look at Lenora's team and think of it as a pushover, it really isn't. Hypnosis can be a problem if RNG isn't on our side, and Retaliate is a free kill once one of her members go down. Expecting the Intimidate from Herdia, I open up with Winton and use Leech Seed. It looks like I need to run calcs from this point on, as a crit actually would have killed me there. I switch into Bruce and skillfully dodge the takedown, and then we finish Herdia off without the need of our Oranberry. As Watchog switches in, we use Detect to neutralise the Retaliate, but for some reason she thinks I have too much defence or something. Knowing that I still have a berry in the back pocket, I use Sand Attack, followed by a Confuse Ray, and completely forgot to account for the crit. Yet again, my mistakes had just cost Bruce, and now the entire of Gotham their lives. Doug told me to tag him in so he could avenge his boy, and that is what I did. Doug puts the doppelganger to rest, and just like that, we had our second badge, a quarter of them now in my possession. I sauteed some vegetables, picked myself up a cottony from the forest, crossed this beautiful bridge, received my leaf stone from some random guy, and made Winton into
Greetings!
When done.
I then sprinted to the north of town, hoping to collect a Sandile, because Winton and Sandile is practically just like having King Kong and Godzilla. I leveled my lead Pokemon to 18, forcing a 50-50 between Sandile and Darumaka, then rolled the dice, and it paid off. We didn't just get 1 6, we got a double 6, because our Sandile has Intimidate, which is one of the best abilities in the entire game. Now, Timpole was sadly sacrificed for this, but I spoke to Attenborough beforehand, who assured me that it was better to have a croc in my corner than a tadpole in my tank. My box didn't have much for Berg's bugs, and even the options I did have weren't great. I only had 1 bug resist and a bunch of physical attackers versus a pretty bulky team. I lead Andy into Whirlipede as it has almost 100 defense, and I needed to hit this thing specially. RNG seems to be on our side as he gets fully confused, which leads to the kill. Expecting the rock type move, I switch into Bacon on a neutral hit, but the RNG gods begin their treachery. I think that I can sweep here, so I go for the flame charge into an ember, but it wasn't nearly enough. After a sand attack and a missed flame wheel, we are now forced to switch out because we are in crit range. I bring in Sandile to outspeed and kill, but this Dwebble just doesn't die. Then I forget about potions and have a hole to climb myself out of. I start by chipping away with Doug, but then that leaves me with little options for his last Pokemon. We get a free switch into Andy, and then with a 4x super effective flying type move, we can clean up the fight. 3 gyms down, 5 to go. Let's see if I'm gonna throw. With our brand new friend
when done
next to us, we take care of Bianca with no problem at all and then keep heading north through the desert. Is exactly what I would say if we didn't have a rival battle every single 30 seconds. Regardless, we take care of Cherim with no problem at all, and then we actually get to head north. We pick up 2 really big encounters with Dwebble and Yamask, both who could come in handy in the next gym, especially Dwebble being a rock type. Lastly, I recover the plume fossil, which I will cover later, and then charge ahead to Nimbasa City, ready for another fight with N and hopefully another badge. After enjoying the amusements with N, he seems to have forgotten our last 2 battles and chooses to make it a 3rd defeat. We seed bomb the Sandile, which smashes it to smithereens, then switch to our Sandile, nearly joining the one we had just killed. It's Bacon's turn next, killing the Darumaka before a dodgy few turns results in a close escape from Sigalith. All that now remains is Scraggy, which we finish off using Bacon. We walk into a conversation we do not want to be in, where Bumblebee's ego explodes and informs us that she's a model and also a gym leader. Thanks. Guess it's time to see if she's Gucci or not and put her to the test. Her team actually is really dangerous, and without a ground type, very difficult. Luckily we have Sandile. Never mind, she has a clear strategy, Volt Switch, then Volt Switch, followed by Volt Switch. If I can't stop it with an immunity, that means I must rely on the Pebble. Yep, Quipster learns Stealth Rock, and if I can just stall the Volt Switch damage, I can whittle them down. Stealth Rock will deal a quarter of the Emolga's health per switching per rodent. They might look cute, but they are evil. Turn 1 shows just how dangerous these guys are, as Quipster almost dies from the jump. We do, however, get the rocks up and plough on with our strategy. I make the call to sack Quipster, but he had now done his job and can rest in pieces. Lots of tiny ones. Emolga then surprises absolutely nobody by Volt switching out into Emolga, and then surprises absolutely nobody by Volt switching out into Emolga, who follows up by Volt switching out into Emolga, who then... Mate, shut up. We get it. My bad. After a handful more of electric swaps, both teams are now withered to the bone. 2 phases in now, and I go for an ominous wind, hoping for the Omni boost. No boost, but we do finish off one of the squirrels, and the rocks narrowly misses a kill on the other, meaning a potion was about to restart the pain. I make a rookie play and go for the kill, expecting her to use Pursue, which makes 2 face, 2 feet deep. Luckily, our saviour Bacon is still healthy in the back to take down the zebra. Although I had just watched him outspeed, I still panic, switch out into Doug, who runs the last lap once more. 4 badges down, and it seems that we're living on a prayer because we're halfway there. I place Quipstar and Two-Face into the ever-growing graveyard and head to Route 5 for a new encounter and path to gym number 5. Carelessly, I sprint out of the city and into another Sharon battle. However, through pivoting, make light work of his current roster. We send Sarah and Billy home crying, then head up to the grass for our next encounter. I don't want any of these, so decide that it's time to collect my Ordino. But it seems there's another twist. as a fellow hater of Elisa's Emolgas wants to join the team. A 1 in 10 chance. Even more luck to pull me through this challenge. The next day I head back to the museum to collect my fossil Pokemon, fighting some forgotten trainers on the way. It's a sad team. That's a sad team. 2 floating bollocks. 3 floating bollocks. Okay. Well, we retrieve our Archon and press along the bridge to Driftvale, securing a 1 in 1 Duckler along the way. There's honestly not much for us to do here, except catch ourselves an ice cream cone and stomp out Team Plasma's gathering inside of a fridge. Now, I had to make sure I had the perfect strat for this gym, as Clay is notorious for being extremely difficult. I've spent a lot of time strategizing and I've come to the conclusion that the best play is to go into Winton and press Seed Bomb, Seed Bomb, Seed Bomb, and then Seed Bomb. So there's badge number 5 on turn number 6. The next job is to turn Doug into a monster and then sweep Bianca again. They really made her too easy to beat. We then paced past Route 6, getting a fungus for our encounter and arriving at the electric cave. After a conversation with N, my hollow head gets distracted and I walk straight into our next encounter. The one that just so happens to be 1 in 50, or 2%. I battle an array of plasma grunts, then get lost in the depths of the cave, only to stumble into Stella. Now I presume that she isn't a problem for most, but her plan must have been sent by Satan himself in an attempt to stop me. Damn it, man. Brother. We have to break through this time. We don't. I've got a swap. I feel like I'm caught in an endless loop. Oh, you better break through now, brother. Oh my god. Come on, man. Surely not again. We have to break through. Meh. Am I a joke to you? It's actually starting to get really dangerous. I have to break through this time. We're not doing this again. Break through. I swear to God. Oh my god, that is insane. Wait. Don't press T to dance. Please don't press T to dance. Nice. Oh no, wait. This actually could be the run. I'm not joking. I need to break through. That's a run. Please break through, man. What is going on? Oh my god, finally. That's actually insane. That is insane. That must have been about 15 turns of confusion in a row that hit. This is going to be quite funny. When I play this back and I find out Tita Dance makes you 100% hit yourself in confusion. You, Stella. From the blue-haired to the green-haired guy, the fight difficulty decreases significantly. We break through Baldur's Sturdy with Volt Switch, clean up with Winton, and then sweep the rest with Bacon. Freedom from the plant's lair meant that the path to the next gym was in sight. I pick up an Ordino on Route 7, followed by a lit wick in the Celestial Tower. I ring this giant bell. and then get my team ready to fight Skylar. I had a few strong matchups to her team, so I was confident going into this one. Start off the battle crushing Swoobat with a crunch. Then swap to a Molga for the Volt Switch one-shot. Lastly, I end the fight with an Ice Beam from Dixon's. A very quick and a very easy fight, landing us our 6th gym badge. After Gym 6, I can collect Surf on completion of a Cherrim battle, opening up a vast amount of encounters. But first we had this battle to complete, and each of his Pokemon now possessed a held item. Turn 1 goes great, as I know he can't touch me. I set up the light screen, then Volt Switch out into Doug to outspeed and kill with a crunch. We repeat the cycle into Duot, switching to Winton for the kill this time, then in comes Simisear, and in turn Bacon, to take the crit and get some damage off on Simisear. I have to risk another crit here, as he probably killed the rest of the team with one. Looking back, sacking a Molga was probably the play here, as it had done its job. We survive another crit, securing the kill, then avoid the pursuit to finish up the fight with Blue Arrow. I start my encounters with Frillish on Route 17, then claim Scraggy on Route 18, Basculin in Striaton City, Lomomola in Driftvale, Axew in Mistralton Cave, and get Quips to killed in Twist Mountain. No need to read into that. Then finally, the story comes full circle as we claim our Drillbur. Gym number 7 was now in our sights, as Soldier 76 would say, and my plan was to run through it with Ember. I pressed work up 4 times, then hoped to use Flame Charge to speed up, not realising that I could have my accuracy decreased. Instead of staying in, I switch out until I'm safe to sweep with full accuracy and the necessary buffs. Once it's safe to do so, I clean up the rest of the battle, giving me my 7th badge and another step towards the Elite Four and the victory of this challenge. We parkour through an ancient tower and descend a haunted ruin, all in the path to Gym 8. After ice skating through the next route, we slide straight into Bianca, not realising that I had to fight her here. But it's only Bianca, right? Turn 1 is bad from the jump, as an intimidated piece of bacon is dinner for a dog. Luckily, Mr. Halsey is sitting pretty in the back to kill this thing before it can set up some more. After another workup, I use Brick Break to bring it down to low HP. I swap into Andy, hoping that I can live a hit nicely due to unaware. We live, but the wrong adjective was used, as it did a ton of damage. I hope that air/ kills here, and it doesn't. But we get the flinch instead. Small problem. She has full restores, and now it was looking really scary. I go for the flinches and sack Andy if all else fails. Winton can outspeed and kill here, so I do just that. Next up is Superior, who I now realise also has setup moves. Andy would have been perfect to have here, wouldn't he? He presses Coil a couple of times, following my workup, and Acrobatics does nothing. I switch to Arrow and Yawn, but then switch back out into a physical attacker. I chip away, only to find out she has yet another full restore. After a handful more coils, we were staring down the barrel of a shotgun. Down goes Bacon, D. Halsey, Winton, Arrow, and finally Doug.
I might be the first person in history to lose to Bianca. And she hit that crit. Right, it's alright. I'm going to start my run again tomorrow. I am going to beat this. Start my run again tomorrow. I'm going to start extra early and we're going to win. Right. I appreciate you chilling, Arrow. I'm going to get myself to sleep, start streaming tomorrow. I'm getting this Nuzlocke completed. Maybe I didn't win it on my first time, but I've learnt lessons.
I opened up with a new face in Darmanitan and crushed the dog within 2 turns. We brought Rodney in on a Simipour Scald and set up a Tailwind to help Simisage sweep. Unfortunately, we get burnt, but the workup plus the Grass Gem guaranteed the kill. Yankee comes out and almost kills with a Flame Burst, but secures it on the second try. We had done it. Mushana couldn't possibly hit our Lipard that was sat in the back, giving us some sweet, sweet revenge.
That feels good, mate. That feels good. Nice, man. Got my revenge. I see why people get addicted to Nuzlocke, man. This shit's addicting. Let's not throw, because anything could still happen. Right? And if there's one thing I'm notorious for after this last few days, it's throwing. Tomorrow, Dragon Gym Elite 4, I think. And that is exactly what we did. The 8th gym was now up, and although I had a plan to defeat Drayden, I disregarded the dragon trainers on the way, costing me not 1, not even 2, but 3 key players for the Elite 4. When will my throwing stop? The Drayden fight, on the other hand, went well. One shot in fracture with Yankee, stalling Drudigan with Sus, and then finally one shot in the Haxorus with Kleenex. I now had all 8 badges, which meant it was time to take on the Elite 4. I had one small/big problem. I had a really weak box, and instead of being patient and getting a few missing encounters, I entered the Elite 4 with the following team: Amoongus, Chandelure, Scrafty, Ordino, Alomomola and Gothitelle. The plan was to do a lot of stalling, which works in theory. We open the doors and enter the Elite 4, and the first person we take on is Caitlyn. Chandelure does serious damage to her team, and the level ups could be nice. Turn 1, we kill Reuniclus with a single Shadow Ball and swap to Scrafty to crunch the Musharna.
Tasty.
Sigalith is one of the Pokemon that we need to stall, so I switch to Ordino and go for Toxic. Between Protect and Regenerator, I pivot in and out with Ordino. Next, I forget about the full restore curing poison and switch instead of clicking Toxic again. Amoongus dodges a crit, but the price is a missed Toxic. Sigalith goes for Ice Beam here, and so I get gifted a lifeline. I use my brain for once, switch into Gothitelle for the Psychic, and back to the healed Ordino on a Shadow Ball, allowing me to get another Toxic off. Sigalith goes down, and only her Gothitelle remains. Rocky then cleans up the fight, making it a close first victory.
Tasty.
Marshall is our second challenge, and we start out with a fun stall on throw. Lulu finishes the kill, making Mienshao arrive, only to U-turn straight back out onto Sus. Sork then comes in and presses Stone Edge, which crit kills one of our best members. I later realised I was using the calculator completely wrong, and it cost me a lot of mistakes. After I regain, Lulu re-enters, equipped with the Bright Powder, praying that Stone Edge will miss, and it does. I fumble, thinking I'm going to one-shot, but he has Sturdy. Anyway, we dodge the crit this time and secure the kill. Mienshao now comes in, and magic is my only option to take a hit. He U-turns out, and in comes Kinkelda, who, after an attempted wish heal from me, crits us for the kill. Lulu finishes off Kinkelda, and then, after the wish, can luckily survive a hit and kill with Psychic. That might be half of the Elite 4 down, but 2 of our key members were gone. Maybe I should have prioritised which teams to fight first. Chantel and her ghosts were up next, and our candle was still burning, opening up with a one-shot turn 1. The next turn, Golurk comes in, which is another one of the Pokemon that we can one-shot. Next, we are face to face with Jellicent, who we can't kill in one. I swap out to Ordino to begin the stall, then hang on by a thread due to a crit. I do some switching to regain health, and then find that Rocky can kill with one shot. Last up was Chandelure, her best Pokemon. So I do some switching to get a better position and some more health. We rotate around to finish her off with a Shadow Ball before just surviving to yet another crit by the skin of Yankee. We scrape through to the last battle, Grimsley. The last fight is a 4v4, and I needed to stall this Scrafty to get the ball rolling. We dodge a crit, but then miss our Toxic.
We rotate to get our health back and try again, however he sand attacks and therefore we miss again. I repeat a few more times until finally the toxic hits. I can't risk killing Yankee, so I whittle him down by eventually sacking Gothitelle. I make more errors, placing this guy back at full health, then due to some very good luck, take his first Pokemon down. At this point my head was fried. I needed Rocket for the last two, and even then I needed some really good luck. I sacked Chandelure to secure the retaliate kill on Lipard, and sacked Freeran afterwards, who did so much work throughout this Elite Four. Rocky needed to take 2 Earthquakes, which he does just by the skin of his teeth. Crocodile goes down. Rocky, in a 1 vs 1. Brick Break will kill in 1 hit. There's only one problem. I'm slower.
Tried our best. But that's the run. 1 move off. 1 turn. It hurts that. That actually hurts a lot. Right, it's 3 in the morning though. I need to get myself to bed. Night, brother. Thank you for the help. Take care, man.
Sometimes you fail. Then you might fail again. But as long as you improve on your mistakes, you might just, I don't know, sweep the entire Elite Four deathless the following day. Run 3 was proof that I was learning from my mistakes and improving. My death box was light and only contained sack Pokemon. I sought out good encounters, leaving none to rest, and I had strategy and patience, unlike my previous attempts. The Elite Four were one thing, but could I crack the puzzle of the N and Getsis fights? I walk in on N bullying a ginger before chasing him down like Dog the Bounty Hunter. I throw my Master Ball at Reshiram and send him to the box, as I don't like to play with legendaries.
Okay.
My team was a complete contrast to the last, opting for power over bulk, and my strategy to taking down Zekrom? Very fun to watch. The plan was to stall his PP from his attackive moves, then Tailwind with Swanna, which I thought lasted 5 turns. I would then switch into Excadrill to click Sword Dance and get a kill or 2, depending on who came in. N sends out Klinklang, but I knew it was Zorua under illusion, as he had 2 moves he could kill me with, whereas I walled Klinklang. Since Tailwind had already gone, I was now slower and had to risk taking a crit, which we dodge, and then taking down one of his biggest threats. Next out is Caracosta, and Caracosta has Sturdy, so that means I have to swap into Swanna on the water type move, then Scraggy on the rock type move, to return with big damage. Our first hit must have been the highest roll, as the second doesn't even kill, causing our first loss. Swanna can now clean up though, as we outspeed and he had to full restore this turn, helping us to secure the 2-shot. In comes Klinklang, so I see it as an opportunity to debut Cryogonal and set up the Reflect for a future Archeops. Magic comes in to one-shot the gears, but that causes Vanillux to appear. Luckily, Blue Arrow is still full health in the back to dish out a one-shot. Archeops is his last member of his team, but it's a huge problem. The only one on my team that could take a hit is Magic, who is the one that can also one-shot Archon. I have to sack someone here and make the call on Blue Arrow. Magic comes in, but can he take a crunch? He narrowly does, then bounces back with a heavy slam, which is not guaranteed to kill. With that, we take down N and we move on to the last fight of the entire game.
Please tell me you didn't lie to me. There's a box. You motherfucker. You lied to me. I did not know it was a back-to-back battle. But he's healed them. So I just let them 2 die? Oh my god, I can set up in front of this Coffagrigus still. Wait, we this. That's the attitude, brother. 4 Pokemon is more than enough. Just get them brain cells heated up. I bounced a flurry of balls off of the coffin's head in order to re-kill our fallen brothers. Then, it was go time. Excadrill is up first. I press Swords Dance, then EQ, and put the coffin in a coffin. Hydreigon comes out, and I have to sack something to get Cryogonal in. I say bye to Swanna, but he uses Fire Blast. Never mind, we get crit burnt. Swanna goes down, and now it was time to unleash the secret weapon. We dodge the crit, then we hit back with an Ice Gem powered Ice Beam to get rid of his biggest threat. 2 down. Bisharp is up next, so Excadrill returns, dealing a one-shot Earthquake. I predict Bouffalon to Earthquake and dodge it with Levitate, then, knowing that Magic is immune to his other attacks, bring him in to have a close 1v1. The team is just about down and out now, but Cryogonal has a perfect moveset to counter Seismitoad. I sack Magic to bring in Cryogonal, then stall until I'm full health and believe Excadrill can come in safely. I switch to Excadrill and he Earthquakes, which means we are close to losing. I finish off Seismitoad, but Electros had me in check. I needed to hit it 3 times and it had to hit me once. Therefore, there was literally only one path to victory. No thought. And that right there is exactly what we needed. The 10% chance to freeze. The killing blow is dealt, and I had done it. My first ever Nuzlocke. It may have taken me 3 tries, but the trophy still feels as good as expected. Huge shout out to Blue Arrow for keeping me company and offering me advice throughout this run. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. It helps out a small channel loads. There's more like this on the way. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.